Michael Jordan is reportedly about to sell his majority stake as the NBA's Charlotte Hornets. The GOAT is set to make a huge profit if he indeed sells, after his initial investment on a minority stake of the team several years ago was only for $180 million, with the franchise now being worth almost $2 billion. Colin Cowherd spoke about the report, claiming that Michael Jordan is on the verge of selling his majority ownership stake in the Charlotte Hornets, expressing that this is another proof that Michael Jordan doesn't make those around him better, only elevating himself. The best owners and the best coaches and the best executives are about elevating others. Michael is great at elevating Michael, Cowherd explained. He then explained why LeBron James is better in that regard, explaining that there's a huge difference between the two, and implying that's why he thinks is the best player in NBA history.
But LeBron, that's where these two aren't remotely close. LeBron, everybody that plays with him, everybody is better.
Sports talk shows have a very fine line to balance. They have to be edgy enough that people make watching their show a regular ritual, but not too provocative as to carry no credibility whatsoever. Ever the trapeze artist, Colin Cowherd was determined to walk that edge when it came to his take on basketball and culture icon Michael Jordan. Shortly after a report emerged detailing that Michael Jordan is involved in serious talks to sell his majority stake in the Hornets, Colin Cowherd on Fox Sports roasted the six-time NBA star on his podcast. Perhaps that's not too promising, considering that the Hornets have not won a playoff series since Jordan joined the franchise in 2010. But Cowherd, who is well known for his controversial takes, didn't just criticize Jordan's ownership tenure. Instead, Colin spoke about myriad aspects of Jordan's career and called him a selfish guy.
So he tried baseball. He failed. He tried ownership. He was awful. He tried the Wizards. It bombed. Everybody understand that take out Scottie Pippen and Phil Jackson, this whole Michael Jordan mythology is sort of just that. He's arguably the greatest basketball player of all time. Michael was always a bit of a selfish player. He's a bit of a selfish guy, and he's not great at building community. He's great at building wealth for Michael Jordan. That's fine. It's not a criticism. It's a reality of who Michael is.
The criticisms Cowherd discussed included Jordan's one-year stint in Double-A baseball with the White Sox farm system in 1994. Although he didn't advance in the system, Jordan finished the season with 88 hits, 3 home runs, 51 RBIs, and a .202 batting average, which many consider an accomplishment because Jordan wasn't solely dedicated to baseball until that season. The bombing of Jordan's Wizards run came in 2001 after Jordan had been retired for 3 seasons. Even though the NBA star didn't lead Washington to the playoffs those 2 seasons, he did earn All-Star recognition both years. As for his Hornets ownership run, Jordan remains the only black majority owner of any professional team in North American sports in the past 13 years. During his tenure there, the Hornets have gone 418 and 594 under 6 different coaches since the 2010-2011 season. The team has made 2 playoff appearances since then. Without context, it's easy to look at Jordan's venture in baseball and coming back to basketball the second time as failures. Looking at each experience in a vacuum, however, shows success. For example, Jordan's adventure with baseball. No, he didn't make it past Double-A ball in the White Sox farm system. In a year, however, he became a respectable ball player for not having trained in the sport. He slashed .202, .290, and .266 in 127 games in the minors. He notched 88 hits, 3 home runs, and 51 RBIs. His expectations are seemingly higher because, well, he's Michael Jordan. I'm not sure how many athletes can succeed as Jordan did in baseball with little time on the field. Take this other criticized venture with the Washington Wizards in context. After rejoining the NBA after 3 years in retirement, at age 38, he punched in 2 All-Star nods while averaging 22.9 and 20 points per game in each season. No, he didn't win a championship in Washington. They didn't even make the playoffs. But at 38 and 39 years old, he maintained the status quo as one of the best players in the league. Comparing Jordan's baseball and Wizards stints to his championship runs with the Bulls wouldn't be a fair exercise. Even Jordan's ownership tenure with the Hornets wasn't a colossal failure. Sure, the team never amounted to anything but a few playoff berths, but owners buy sports teams to make money. And Jordan did just that. Jordan bought the team for approximately $275 million. The Hornets are worth about $1.7 billion today. Is that considered a defeat? Cowherd not only chalked up the experiences as tallies in the loss column, but he also found a way to compare the instances, arbitrarily, to LeBron James, arguably Jordan's closest rival on the basketball court. He doesn't have the ability or the interest to be more of a LeBron, to help others beyond his circle, Cowherd said. It's not really what Michael is. He's only recently started some noteworthy giving, some public giving to either a political process or a charity. On the surface, the point is completely accurate and an argument many fans make in debates about the greatest player of all time. The problem is the subtext and implied point that egocentric Jordan needed other great players and minds around him. Otherwise, the Chicago Bulls would have never evolved into the universal rock stars they became during the 1990s. MJ was certainly not Mr. Rah-Rah, best teammate ever kind of guy, as has been reiterated a number of times. But he unequivocally made the guys around him better on the court. There were growing pains to be had in the 80s for sure, but no superstar does it on his own. LeBron James did not win his first NBA championship until he linked up with future Hall of Famer Dwayne Wade, and multiple-time All-Star Chris Bosh, and a slew of solid role players. Bill Russell was a part of the most dominant dynasty in NBA history. The argument over who is the GOAT of the NBA has been an argument that will probably never die, unless people start making the same type of argument Colin made. He added, "Everybody understand, take out Scottie Pippen and Phil Jackson. This whole Michael Jordan mythology is sort of just that. Hear that, everyone? Teammates. Michael Jordan would never have won 6 titles without having teammates. Oh, and a coach. And of course, conflicting his basketball career with his attempt at a baseball career and franchise owner would only make sense if he also argued that bringing Pippen and Jackson on the road in the minor leagues, or having them sit on the board of the Charlotte Hornets, would have positively altered Jordan's trajectory in both cases. First, let's all be honest here about what makes a championship team in the NBA. Having more than one good player and a competent coach doesn't hurt. Larry Bird didn't win without Robert Parrish. Magic Johnson never won without Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Casey Jones and Pat Riley were no slouches either. With the empathic way in which Cowherd expressed his eureka moment, you'd think he'd just discovered plutonium. Plus, the analogy has to work the other way, so you could easily say that Pippen and Jackson couldn't win without Jordan. They tried, but were eliminated by the New York Knicks when Jordan was totally failing at baseball. And that concludes the worst argument ever made against Michael Jordan's greatness. Take a bow, Cowherd. You've earned it. Michael Jordan is considered by many the greatest basketball player of all time. Jordan won 6 NBA championships with the Chicago Bulls during the 90s. He won 2 Olympic gold medals and an NCAA title in college with the Tar Heels. Individually, he won 5 MVP awards, 6 Finals MVP trophies, and was even Defensive Player of the Year winner in 1988. In 2020, Jordan and the Jordan brand pledged a $100 million donation to the Black community spread out over 10 years. The donation will support social justice, economic justice, education, and awareness. Jordan also donated $10 million to Make-A-Wish America during his 60th birthday this year, the organization's most prominent individual donation ever received. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to drop a like on the video and subscribe to our channel for more amazing NBA content. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.